Now, with Alabama's defeat of Notre Dame last night, football season is over, and we officially turn our attention to basketball. So what better guest to have join us than Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. Mike is now on Skype joining us. Mike, thank you for joining us, and how are you?
I'm very well today.
UK is a team, of course, that has looked like a lot of different things. They seem to have improved quite a bit. They're still not ranked in the top 25. They have 4 losses, but 3 of them have come against pretty good teams. What do you make of this UK group as of right now?
Well, I think there's still a lot to be proven, and I think that that's one of the things that makes the road opener so interesting, because it's not a very capable opponent, but it's a very challenging place to play. So how does Kentucky react to that? They have played very capable opponents in very challenging places to play, like Louisville and Notre Dame. Not so well at Notre Dame, much better at Louisville. But now they get a chance to show what kind of team they are. A good team, a good to very good team, which certainly is the least of Kentucky's ambitions, goes down and takes care of Vandy on the road. But we don't 100% know that Kentucky has evolved to that point. I think they're certainly better than they were when they went to Notre Dame in early December. But it's not that they don't still have issues.
When you look at Ryan Harrow, he's kind of the guy that has been the piece that has kind of got them going in the right direction. He's been more consistent. Alex Poythress has been up and down. Is Harrow the most critical piece, or is it really getting Poythress back on track if they're going to be that title contender everybody hoped that they would be?
Well, I think in order to be the title contender everybody hopes that they wanted, I think they have to have Alex Poythress be a significant part of that. If they just want to be good, they just need to keep on the track that they are. They can be good from there, but to challenge for the SEC championship, and it's certainly a winnable league, and to challenge for a deep tournament run, they certainly have the individual talent that suggests they can at least last a while. They have to have Alex Poythress play well. The draft people are still saying he's a top 10 pick. I don't know how you go there with what he's done since he's been at Kentucky. He has not played hard. You said up and down. I think that's flattering to him. I don't think he's had that many ups. I think you have to play harder and more for your team on a consistent basis than he has. I was thinking about this, actually talking about this with one of my editors today. You know, Cal reached DeMarcus Cousins. And if you can do that, why is Alex Poythress such a challenge? I think Alex has to ask himself that question.
Fans have compared a lot. You know, you look at Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, who was a shy guy off the court. Alex Poythress is very shy off the court, but Kidd-Gilchrist could turn it on when he got out there. In Poythress, for whatever reason, hasn't seemed to find that. Do you think that have you seen guys, you've covered basketball for a number of years and seen lots of different players? Are there any guys that you remember that just couldn't turn it on, and then one day a light went off? Terrence Jones was similar, I guess, to some degree, but is there anybody that you would compare him to say maybe the light will come on and maybe this is what could jumpstart him?
I think there have been scores of players over the years who didn't get it early on and eventually did. The problem with Kentucky's circumstance, and with Alex in particular, is that the time horizon has been so shrunk on that. In prior years, Kentucky would have other guys, and they'd just say, okay, Alex, if you don't want to play hard, we've got 3-4 other guys that can play that spot. And then they would just do that. And Alex would either have to play harder, and his talent would shine through, and his talent is enormous, or he would sit and watch, and then maybe the next year he'd catch on. It's just everything has changed so much with college basketball generally, and more so with Kentucky than anyone else, that it's hard to say, well, if he doesn't get it today, then it's okay. A year from now, he'll figure it out. Because a year from now, even if he does stay, he may not be able to get on the floor.
Yeah, that's good. The talent coming in is going to push these guys for sure. SEC play starts on Thursday, of course, with Vanderbilt. I think last time you were on, it was about a month ago, you joked that John Calipari should be drug tested because he thought 8 teams are going to get into SEC or into the NCAA tournament from the SEC. The conference actually looks worse now, I think, than it did that month ago. What do you make of this conference? And is Kentucky, is it still Florida and everyone chasing them? Where does Kentucky fall in that mix?
I don't know that Florida has been as consistent lately that you'd say it's them and everybody else. I think Missouri's very close, if not more accomplished than Florida at this point. Kentucky has the talent to be a challenger for the league title. And if you look around the league, there just aren't very many teams. There certainly aren't very many teams that are even close to their talent level, even though it's only 1 through 6 or 7. But there aren't very many teams that even have accomplished what Kentucky has. Kentucky has struggled, with the exception of the Maryland game, against the best teams they've played, or have not produced results, I should say. I don't know that it'd be fair to say that the Louisville game was a struggle. It just didn't win against a great team on the road. But if you played every game like you played Louisville, you'd be in every game in the SEC and with a chance to win. If you played every game like Louisville and Alex Poitras were on the bus, I mean, if you were pulling his weight, I think they could win the league. So I think it's up to them as a team what they want to accomplish during the next 2 months. And I know that John has always said that the regular season is about seeding and that sort of thing. Hey, you know what? Right now, their seeding would not be very high. They just aren't accomplished enough. So they need the SEC. They need success in the SEC to get that seed.
That was what I was going to ask you next. This is the first time where under Calipari, Kentucky, they have to show something in the SEC. And the SEC is not very good right now. How important is it for them to not only win the games against Florida or be competitive, but just win a lot of games in order to improve that seeding? And can they get they're anywhere from 10 to 7 to 5 right now. But where do you see them falling at the end of the year, and how critical is this SEC play?
Well, I really don't know. And I even posed a question in a column that I wrote earlier this week at sportingnews.com. It is not out of the question, although I don't think their talents or their coach suggests it is not out of the question they could miss. I mean, it's not. If they go down to Vandy tomorrow night, then people will start to wonder. I don't think, or excuse me, on Thursday night, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I expect them to continue to play at the Louisville level, and if they do that, they're going to win enough games to get in. But in order to win the games they need to win, in order to get a relatively comfortable seed, I mean, they have to have Poitras included in that. They have to have Ryan Harrow continue to play the way he has. They have to find a lineup mix that works well for them, and they're still at work on that. But they have a great coach, and they have terrific talent. And now that Harrow is on board and playing hard and playing and running his team like a point guard, I think that really puts them very close to the front of the line in the SEC, and it's just up to them to hold it.
It seems like they're going to be the team when the brackets come out that no matter where they're seated, they're going to be the scariest X seed, whether they're 10 seed, 5 seed, the team no one wants to play. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Mike, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure talking with you. Of course, everybody can check you out on Sporting News or on Twitter at TSN Mike. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think you pinned it right down. The goal is to not be the scariest 12 seed.
Right. Exactly. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you.